The much-awaited Zimbabwe Parliament building is complete and ready to be handed over to the authorities 3.5 years after construction began. Construction of the new Parliament building, which is located in Mount Hampden, was initially set to be finalized by March 2021, but work was disrupted by the lockdowns necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. And the sprawling 3.3 hectare, which is about 8-acre campus, is a gift from Beijing and aimed at strengthening the solidarity and friendship between the people of Zimbabwe and China.
It sits 18 kilometers, that's 11 miles, northwest of the capital, Harare, and it's part of a plan to decongest the city center. The imposing 6-story building, sitting on a hilltop, will have a seating capacity of 650 members of parliament, compared to 100 for the current building. Our Zimbabwean correspondent, Lala Ngweya, joins us for more. Good morning, Lala. Welcome to the show.
All right, just before we connect with her, interesting news, and interesting mostly because of two, separate things. I remember a few years ago I was hearing, or I read, some story, and I don't know if I eventually got to verify.
About the amount of money that was going to allocated to building a new House of Parliament?
No, not even that one. There was, some story about some Asian country, I'm thinking it was also China, that had built a structure in some country in Africa that eventually turned, out to be like a spy office. They basically, had hacked all the computers or put bugs in all the computers and all of that, in that country as, I'm not sure what the plan, but I didn't get to verify.
That sounds very conspiracy theory-ish.
Yes, it does.
All right,
yes,
now let's speak with Lala Ngweya. Good morning, Lala. Thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. Lala, can you hear us? Unfortunately, we're having connectivity issues this morning. It's been a rainy morning here in Nigeria. Sometimes I wonder if the same thing happens in other parts of Africa, where once it rains, the network is a bit unstable here. We, of course, certainly will be connecting with Lala in a moment. Absolutely.
And second thoughts on this same story, and I'm hoping Lala can help answer these things. So in world politics, there's been this seeming struggle between the West and China, and so as the U.S., of course, tries to establish its presence and its power and its authority over certain regions across the world, it's having pretty much the same, ideas with, or not the same ideas, but the same goals with China.
Yeah.
So anywhere that you see that the United States seems to be, not be too serious, China immediately steps in. And if you followed, world politics in the last couple of years, you would see that China has been making, inroads, bits and pieces into Africa.
Power.
Well, they are absolutely a world power, but so when I see stories like this, why I'm sharing these things is because I never see these things and just say, oh, brand new building, hooray, hip, 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 let's celebrate, pop, champagne and all of that. There's definitely 100% always a reason behind some of these moves that are being made. Nobody builds an edifice like this just because they like the way you smile.
Yes, especially and in situations where they actually do give you money to facilitate certain projects, and then you come back cap in hand. You're really at their beck and call at that point.
There's definitely something behind it.
All right, let's move over from that package to Zimbabwe, where we talked about Zimbabwe unveiling the new parliament building. To look further into this, we have Lala Ngweya joining us for more. Good morning, Lala. Thank you very much for joining us from the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, Lala?
All right, get into it. What's the general feeling in Zimbabwe about this new building, this new parliament building?
Well, I think, with Zimbabweans, though Zimbabwe and China have enjoyed relations since Rhodesian times, before the struggle, during the struggle, after the struggle, up to now, there's that general feeling that China is up to something. You can't get anything for free from China. So yeah, as much as people are excited, and are curious about the new building, which is massive, by the way, and extremely beautiful, there's also that underlying, worry that, okay, then what? What is China going to get from Zimbabwe that it's not getting already? Do they want more minerals? Do they want more land? What does China want more in exchange for this massive parliament building?
And that's a valid question and a valid concern. that not just the people of Zimbabwe have. It's, that's a general sentiment. We did talk about that, that China is, becoming one of the biggest world powers. So when they're interested, it's like, what do they want? Now let's talk about this building. What would you say are the notable differences between this new building and the old parliament?
Okay, so to start with, I mean, the building is no longer in Harare CBD, which is slowly getting over congested and overcrowded. And the building, secondly, is massive. Like I said earlier, it's huge compared to the building that is currently being used. The building that's currently being used is like a fraction of the new building. I mean, the furniture in the new building is just amazing. The lighting, the grounds around the new building is beautiful. There's so much space. That's the other thing, because this new building is not in town and there's no congestion. So there's so much space, parking space, so much space for gardens. It's just a good structure set in a very good area away from the city center. But maybe to get more into details, this new parliament building has 350 seats in the National Assembly court. It also has 100 rooms for senators, and in total, including rooms for the staff, offices for the staff and other rooms, it has a total of 650 rooms. So it's quite a big, a really big building. And maybe what I should also note is that this building is not very far from the city center. It's only 25 kilometers away from the city center, and it's at a place called Mount Hampden, which is a new city. They call it the new Harare. It's more like a new city, a satellite city from Harare. And the other reason why they had to make the building out of Harare, it's one of the ways for the government to decongest the city center.
All right, Lala, was a new parliament building lacking in Zimbabwe? Was it something that the government was concerned about, was burdened with before China stepped in, or this is just a gift from China? And also, has the cost of this building been shared with the public?
Yes. The cost has been 160 million, but we are meant to believe, or rather that's what the records say, that the building was funded by the Chinese government. So the government of Zimbabwe really just had to.
Sorry, what currency are you speaking of now? $160 million or?
Yes, American dollars, 160 million American dollars.
All right, please go ahead. But you're saying that, yeah.
So the government of Zimbabwe really had to provide land. And yes, they are calling it a gift to Zimbabwe. China is Zimbabwe's all-weather friend. So they are calling it a gift to Zimbabwe. That's why, over the years, the building started in 2016 and it was halted, obviously, because of COVID-19. So over the years, the government, they've really tried to make the Zimbabwean populace understand that this building did not cost the government of Zimbabwe anything, and that this building is solely a gift from China, and that people must not think China has ulterior motives when it comes to China gifting Zimbabwe this building. I mean, they've made comparisons to the fact that China has gifted Africa with the AU building in Ethiopia. So, I guess China is a good friend.
Oh, wow. And we're hoping that, of course, just like the government in Zimbabwe has urged, we're hoping that this is not any form of a Trojan gift in any way. That is just a gift that has no consequences or nothing in return. It's a gift with no extra benefits. But thank you very much, Lala Goya, for joining us and for giving us the updates on this parliament building in Zimbabwe.